and the journalist and chief executive of Ernest Media Empire, Ernest Owens. Sophie, you're a woman. Is this a simple question if I put it to you?
Yes, I don't even know how we're going to debate this, because I think there is no debate to be had. It's quite simple. If you have a vagina and your chromosomes are X whatever, I think it's XX, isn't it? I don't even know now. If your chromosomes are for a bird, you're a bird. If they're not, you're a bloke. Simple as.
Ernest, you think Sophie's wrong?
I think so. I think that there is women, just like race and sexual orientation varies, but I believe that a woman can either be cisgender or transgender. But trans women are women and cisgender women are women, period. Easy.
Is that if you're talking about sex or gender?
It's gender. We're not talking about sex at all. We're talking about gender.
Well, I think we are, aren't we, Sophie? If we ask what is a woman, we're talking about someone's sex.
Ultimately, trans women are not women. They are trans women. They are different. You cannot be born with a penis and relate to a woman. You're just not. And this conversation, a woman is a woman. And the fact that people are refusing to, agree with what a woman is insulting for us women. We've fought, mercilessly for our rights against men for years and years and years. And now we're facing the exact same battle, but with men who just happen to call themselves women.
I mean, Ernest, do you think there's a slight irony that you're a man trying to define what a woman is?
No, I'm talking as a human defining what humanhood is. When we talk about, this idea around definitions and these attacks, living in the United States of America, there was a time where I was considered 3/5 of a person. And then society woke up and realized that I was a full person, and my ancestors were. And so it was called slavery. And, if we're trying to hold on to narrow definitions of what a person was and what rights they belong, who they belong to.
So, Ernest, could I identify as a black man?
There has been many who have.
But could I?
I'm not telling you what you could be. Do you identify as a black man?
I would say that if I identified as a black man, you would rightly say that I was ridiculous and that I was racist. So what the heck is the difference?
Well, the difference here is that I think when we are conflating the idea around gender, sexuality, and race, you cannot conflate it when it comes to something that is an identity. So what I mean here is that your limited definition of what a woman is based on genitalia. I would be defining it not based on skin color alone, but other identities. I don't think that genitalia defines one person's gender. That's a choice that you all decide to do. I think it's narrow to do something like that.
But Sophie, Sophie, you must be with me on this, though, Sophie, because there is absolute outrage any time, and I think correct outrage, by the way, any time someone who is white defines as another ethnicity.
Ultimately, if I wanted, I could call myself a fish if I wanted to, but it doesn't make me a fish because I don't have the properties of a fish. So, unfortunately, calling yourself a woman does not magically make you one. And it's really irritating that these wet, liberal men always come and lecture young women like me. Oh, erase women. You must have men in your bathrooms. You must allow men in your prisons. You must allow men in your schools.
No, but I'm not saying there should be men in those bathrooms.
Absolutely not. Never have, never will.
I don't think that men should be in women's bathrooms, but you asked the question. You didn't say men. You said trans women. Trans women are women.
Because they are men.
So Sophie, you're saying you wouldn't accept a trans woman to use the same bathroom as you?
If you have a penis,
even if they've had gender, but what if they've gone through gender reassignment surgery?
No.
Exactly. That's the problem.
You use other facilities. I think it's ridiculous. Why should us women have to, be the compassionate ones? Why do we have to be the compassionate ones? Why have we got to be the ones to accept it? Absolutely not. No. Absolutely no. Not happening.
Ernest?
Go to a bathroom? That's weird. I think that a person who is a woman, who identifies as a woman, and you're making the case around safety, where would you suggest trans people go? Why do you care? Why do you care? It doesn't
Disabled
impact
bathroom.
you. It doesn't impact you at all.
That's
Does
there.
it stop you
Hang on.
from
Why should women be less safe? Why should we be unsafe so that the trans people can feel more safe? Why do we have to take a step down?
Using the same rhetoric that stopped people that look like me to get the rights that I do. The threat was the propaganda that you're saying, that there are people that thought that people that look like me was 3/5 of a person, that if I went to your schools and integrated your societies, that I would be a threat and danger. You don't see how you're using the same rhetoric? It has nothing to do with you. What a trans woman does with their rights has nothing to do with you.
Okay, final word to you, Sophie.
In my bathroom.
It does not. You as a cis woman do not have anything taken
I'm not,
away from you.
hang on. I'm not a cis woman. I'm a woman. There's no
Okay, and trans women are women too. You don't even have to use those labels.
The original woman. There's no other version.
Trans women are women, just like cisgender women are women.
Thank you so much. That was the political commentator and broadcaster Sophie Corcoran and journalist and chief executive of Ernest Media Empire, Ernest Owens. Thank you both. So who do you agree with? Well, Debbie on Twitter says, of course it is. Women are adult females, sick to death of all these labels. Now, I'm not a cis woman either. I am just a woman. End of. So she's making the point that Sophie just made. Ali on Twitter says, it's so utterly preposterous that we even have to take a vote on this. Women are adult females. Trans women, a trans woman. They have rights and should be treated kindly, as we all should, but they are not women. But Remain on Twitter says, people are getting bogged down on the definition of woman. As most people will know, the word has undergone numerous changes of meaning and spelling. Language is a reflection of society, not a rule book. And your verdict is now in. 90% of you agree that the definition of a woman is adult human female. Just 10% of you disagree with that. Fascinating debate. Now, coming up, has the identity politics obsessed woke West